Good evening and welcome to another edition of the HGP Sport for today, April 5th. I am Stanford Howard. Thanks for joining us. Despite the $8 million needed for Team Guyana to be part of the upcoming Hgptv Games not being raised, the 20-member team will be traveling on April 17. This is according to President of the Athletics Association of Guyana, AUBREY HUDSON. Jaden Samuels has more.
When it comes to Guyana being represented on the international scene, more often than not, meeting the budget in a timely manner brings about an uncomfortable feeling. This is the case with the Hgptv Games just round the corner and with the team scheduled to depart Guyana on April 17 with only half of the required $8 million. However, when Hgp Sport met with President HUDSON today, he mentioned that despite not being able to raise the needed funds, the team is ready and will be traveling on the 17th.
I've made a commitment since I became president that once you qualify, you travel, even if I have to push my hands in my pocket. That's how dedicated and committed I am to this whole process of building track and field in Guyana. This year, we would not have benefited as much as we did last year, particularly from government of Guyana, but we're still grateful for whatever is given to us because 2 years prior to that, we got zero. So we're not where we would like to be. I can guarantee you that at least the 20 qualified athletes for these championships are going to travel because we have the tickets in hand.
The local athletics boss also mentioned that if Guyana is serious about development, the country should never find themselves in situations like these, since these games are happening all the time.
There needs to be a policy position that the associations can work with. Look, at the beginning of the year or we're going to be committing, as a government, this amount of money towards sports in these respective areas. The Hgptv Games have been, for the last 46 years, 47 years, being held at Easter weekend. So it's nothing new under the sun as it relates to Hgptv. Yes, our contingent has been growing, and the reason why the contingent has been growing because the athletes are doing better. Right. So in order to really and truly see the development of track and field all the way onto the Olympics, this is a necessary investment that got to be made. It's either you're in it or you're not in it. There's no halfway measure with this.
Meanwhile, this weekend, the Hgptv team from Suriname will be meeting Team Guyana in a mini-meet at the synthetic track at Lenora as they seek to end their medal drought at the Hgptv Games. Jaden Samuels, HGP Sport.
In football news, Senior Project Manager of FIFA Howard McIntosh is of the view that a collective effort is necessary for major developments to be derived. Jaden Samuels reports.
Howard McIntosh is in Guyana on a few days visit, mainly to be updated on the projects the GFF are currently running. The short visit by the FIFA project manager started with a visit to the site at Durban Park, allocated to the GFF, where a football complex and the new Guyana Football Federation headquarters will be constructed. This visit to the site was accompanied by Director of Sport Christopher Jones and the President of the GFF, Wayne Ford. Making a very brief address at the site, McIntosh reminded that the government and the media must work hand in hand so that the goods can be delivered for the benefit of Guyana. Going into the Gold Cup for the first time will bring many opportunities for Guyana, and with the oil on the horizon, there is need for not only football but sports across the board to be developed. Speaking as it relates to government support, Jones said that the government is pleased to lend support, especially with Guyana's recent qualification for the Gold Cup. Jaden Samuels, HGP Sport.
We now switch our attention to cricket. Guyana went down to Barbados in the final round of the Women's T20 Bliss tournament at Providence. Here is that story. Barbados showed no mercy to the home team Guyana and their support at the National Stadium in Providence. Guyana, who won the toss and took the field, was met with a stern-Bajan attack as they restricted Guyana to 85 for 7 from their 20 overs. Skipper Haley Matthews and Shaquila Salmon both grabbed 2 scalps each. The Barbadians took a mere 16.1 overs to achieve victory by 8 wickets as the Andre Dutton once again led the team's batting with 37 not out from 27 balls that included 6 fours and 1 6 to take the title. The Bajan women also won over a week ago the Super 50 title. In the first match of the day, Jamaica defeated Trinidad and Tobago by 7 wickets to open up the race for second place in the tournament. Trinidad and Tobago posted 145 for 6 in 20 overs, but Shade Nation and Shanelli Henry tore apart the TNT bowling. In a 90-run partnership, the pair targeted Trinidad and Tobago, Krishma Ramhak, to keep well ahead of the required run rate. The win resulted in Jamaica leapfrogging Guyana and TNT to finish the tournament in second place via a better net run rate. For HGP Sport, I am Stanford Howard. And finally in sports this evening, in match 16 of the Indian Premier League, Sunrise Hyderabad beat Delhi Capitals. Samuel Gillis reports.
Sunrisers took the top position on the points table with a collective and clever bowling display on a low and slow furrow-shaped pitch. Right from the beginning, Delhi Capitals didn't look like they would set a big total and were restricted to 129 for 8, which Sunrisers crossed with an over and a half to spare. Capitals had botched their last 2 chases with forgettable collapses and would have been eager to change the trend when they asked to bat, but they struggled to stitch partnerships against Mohamed Nabi's spin and a pace attack that used its speed variations smartly. Capitals' best stand scored 22 runs off 41 balls, whereas Sunrisers began the chase with a 64 runs opening stand off the same amount of balls. The hosts managed to strike a few blows late in the chase, but the total they had put up wasn't big enough to give Sunrisers a scare. The game ended with Sunrisers 131 for 5, BAIRSTOW got 48 and Delhi Capitals 129 for 8. Nabi 2 for 21 and Call 2 for 35 by 5 wickets. For HGP Sport, I am Samuel Gillis.
Thank you, Samuel. That concludes our cast for this evening. I'm Stanford Howard, but do remember, persistence can change failure into extraordinary achievement. Back to you, Javon.